Okay, now that we understand the connections between tables, patterns, graphs, and equations, we're going to look at how can we take a table and go right to an equation. So let's say we have this table. So again, yes, we could guess and check with our silent board games, and yes, we did learn a little bit of shortcuts, but we want to be able to look at this table, relate it to our tile patterns, and jump right to our equation, because our equations are always this y equals mx plus b. We know we're multiplying something by x, and we know we're having an initial number, we're adding something at the end. So we want to turn this table directly into an equation that looks like this. Now we understand now that this m is our growth, and this b is our number of tiles in figure 0. So whenever you see the directions to write the equation of this line, no matter what you're given, when it says write the equation of the line, there are two things we need to know, two things we have to ask ourselves. So we want to ask ourselves, how is the pattern growing? Okay, or shrinking. We're going to see some that are decreasing. So how is this pattern growing? How many tiles are we adding each time? And the other one is, well, how many tiles are in figure 0? Now, as soon as we could answer these questions, we could jump right to our rules. So let's look at the first one. How is this pattern growing? So, as we see, as we go from figure 0 to figure 1 to figure 2 to figure 3, we're adding 2 tiles each time. So this pattern is growing by adding 2 tiles each time. Now we look at, well, how many tiles are in figure 0? So we just find figure 0. It has 7 tiles. Now these are the 2 bits of information we need. We're adding 2 tiles each time. And there are 7 tiles in figure 0. So our rule is simply y equals 2x plus 7. And we could check this. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 7 is 7. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 7 is 9. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 7 is 11. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 7 is 13. And that works for everything. Because remember, we're adding 2 tiles each time. So no matter what figure number I tell you, we have to add 2 that many times. And that shortcut is multiplication. We're doing 2 times our figure number plus the 7 tiles we started with. So here's one. You could try on your own. So after we copy this table down, press pause, and try and write the equation. And again, we're still asking ourselves these 2 questions. How is the tile pattern growing? And how many tiles are in figure 0? Okay, so copy this table down, press pause, and then press play to check your answer. Remember, you're writing the equation of this pattern, of this line. So again, the 2 questions we want to ask ourselves is, what is this tile pattern doing? How is this tile pattern growing? And how many tiles are in figure 0? So we see there are 5 tiles in figure 0. And we are adding 4 tiles each time. So our rule is simply, so this 4 is our growth, so we have y equals 4x, because we're adding 4 repeatedly. So we have 4 times x, 4 times our figure number, and we're adding that to our original 5 tiles in figure 0. So we have y equals 4x plus 5, and let's check our work with some numbers in the table. Check this rule with some numbers in the table. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 5 is 17. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 5 is 25. Okay, so this, y equals 4x plus 5, is our equation. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, so copy this table down, press pause, and then press play to check your work. Okay, now this one's a little bit different. There are two things that are different about this one. The first thing that's different is we see that this tile pattern is decreasing. Okay, we're subtracting 2 tiles each time. But that doesn't change anything. The tile pattern is, well, now we're subtracting 2 tiles each time. Now the other thing that's different is figure 0 isn't the first one in our column. That's nothing to worry about. We look for figure 0 no matter where it is, whether it's first, whether it's last, or whether it's somewhere in the middle. X is our figure number, so figure 0 has 8 tiles. We're going to say figure 0 has 8 tiles, and we subtract 2 tiles each time. Okay, so now we have to deal with what is a subtraction. Well, it's nothing to be too afraid of. Since we're subtracting 2 tiles each time, we're going to have negative 2x. And we have 8 tiles in figure 0. So our rule is y equals negative 2x plus 8. Again, it's a good habit to get into to just check your work with some of the numbers in your table. 2 times negative 2, we substitute 2 in for x. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, plus 8 is positive 4. Good. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8, plus 8 is 0. Okay, so we trust that we did the right work, so y equals negative 2x plus 8 is the rule. Okay, so to get more practice with this, refer back to the textbook or refer to some of the online resources provided on the homework hotline on my website.